was going through Instagram reels on her phone when a message popped up, and it was from my dad, my own father. That was how it all started. My name is Reby, and this story happened during my NYSC in Lagos. At camp, you meet people from all walks of life, and one of them became my closest friend. Her name was Vivian. She was funny, smart, and we bonded over everything. The heat, the marching, the terrible camp food, and our nightly walks to the Mami market. By the end of the 3 weeks, she felt like a sister. So when I found out that she didn't have any family in Lagos, I asked my mom if she could stay with us. My mom didn't welcome the idea at first. She's always been a little protective of her space, but I told her that Vivian was a nice girl, and she finally agreed. I thought having Vivian around would make everything more exciting. I was happy about starting my job at my place of primary assignment, and thought it would be nice to have my age mates in the house. It felt like everything was falling into place. The first few weeks were great. Vivian and I explored Lagos together. We went to markets, restaurants, and all the places I had wanted to see. She got along well with my family too. My mom would cook big meals and would sit together laughing and talking. My dad would join in sometimes. He would ask Vivian about her background, her family, her plans after NYSC. I thought it was nice of him, that he was just trying to be friendly. Then I started noticing little things. Vivian was always around my dad, sometimes laughing at his joke a little too loudly, or offering to get him tea or a snack. I brushed it off. She was just trying to be polite, right? I told myself that it was just me overthinking things. A few weeks later, Vivian mentioned that a man interested in dating her booked a fully paid vacation for us to Zanzibar. I was so excited. It was a dream come true. We shopped for the trip together and I couldn't contain my excitement. When we finally arrived in Zanzibar, it was even better than I had imagined. We spent 5 unforgettable days there, exploring beaches, trying exotic foods, and soaking in the paradise around us. I remember thinking that no one could ask for a better friend or a better life. Our trip to Zanzibar was fun and unforgettable. Returning to Lagos, we picked up our different routines back. I thought everything was perfect as it could be. One afternoon, I came back from running errands for my mom and saw Vivian sitting on the couch, scrolling through Instagram reels. She handed me her phone to show me a funny video, then got up to use the bathroom. I kept watching the video, smiling to myself. But just then, her phone lit up with a message. It was a message from a contact she saved as my love. The message read, "I can't wait to have you again tonight." As I tried to swipe it off the screen to continue the reel I was watching, I mistakenly opened it. Immediately, I recognized the number. That was my dad's number. It felt like I had been punched in the guts. My own father. Something had been going on right under my nose and I had been too blind to see it. I didn't say anything right away. I didn't even confront her. I just kept my face calm and handed her phone back. But inside, I felt sick. Later that night, I started to look through her phone when she was asleep. It was wrong, I knew that, but I had to know more. And there it was in the message between her and my dad. They had been seeing each other, sneaking around the house. She called him my love, and he called her my queen. I felt like the floor had opened from under me. It was in the chat that I found out it was my dad that paid for our trip to Zanzibar. I also found out from their chat how the whole affair started. She had mistakenly seen my dad getting dressed one day while dropping off some clothes in their bedroom after laundry, and my dad knew she saw him. Later that day, she texted my dad, saying that she can't seem to get her mind off his day. And that was how they started sneaking around the house and going to hotels. I never suspected her because I also thought she was always out with her boyfriend. After reading their chats, I couldn't sleep that night. I stayed up thinking about what to do. By morning, I knew I couldn't handle this on my own. I had to tell my mom. My mom is a strong woman, but I knew this would break her heart. I told her everything, the message, the late night text, the trip to Zanzibar. Her face went pale. She didn't cry, but I could see the pain in her eyes. We made a plan together. We would confront Vivian with my dad there and get to the bottom of everything. We told Vivian to come into the living room for a family meeting. She looked nervous, probably because she could tell we knew something. My dad joined us and my mom started asking questions. She didn't yell or raise her voice. She just kept asking Vivian why she had been spending so much time around my dad. Vivian stayed quiet at first after avoiding eye contact. Finally, she broke down and admitted it. Then she dropped another bombshell. She was pregnant. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My dad's face went pale. He started denying it, saying that he didn't know anything about a pregnancy, that it wasn't his responsibility. Vivian cried harder, saying that he had promised to take care of her, that he had been the one pushing for their relationship. According to her, my dad had promised to relocate her and her baby to Canada after NYSC. My mom and I sat there listening as their lies and excuses poured out. At that moment, I realized what a huge mistake I had made by bringing Vivian into our home. She had taken advantage of our kindness and our trust and turned it into something ugly. My mom didn't hold back. She told Vivian to pack her things and leave immediately. I didn't want to see her face anymore. I helped her gather her stuff, and as she stood by the door, I felt all the anger and betrayal I had been holding in bubble up. My mom and I pushed her out of the house, making it clear she was never to come back. Vivian tried to blame the pregnancy on her ex-boyfriend after that, probably thinking it would make things easier for her, but I couldn't let her get away with it. I found her ex and told him everything. He deserved to know the truth. When he found out, he cut all ties with her, leaving her to deal with the mess she had created. So there she was, alone, broke and pregnant, while I tried to pick up the pieces of my family. My mom was devastated, and my family was left with this big, ugly scar. Every day, I feel guilty for bringing Vivian into our home. I still find myself apologizing to my mom, asking for her forgiveness, because I know this was partly my fault. If there is one thing I've learned from all this, is to be careful who you trust. Not everyone who smiles at you means well, and sometimes the people you think are friends can turn out to be enemies. It's a lesson I'll never forget. Like my story, follow for more. Thank you for watching.